In Mexico, they have a saying, cantando y bailando las penas se van volando, which means by chanting and dancing, all sorrows fly away. So that's what we want. Everyone, what is everyone looking for? Happiness. Huh? Everything that people do is to be happy, isn't? But there is also suffering. So we want happiness, but we don't want suffering. So what's the solution? How to get happiness without suffering? When Prabhupada visited South America, Venezuela, one lady asked him that question, why we are suffering? And he said, because we have a material body. Material body means you have to be born, you have to become sick and old and die. So you may say that's a very, how to say it, very pessimistic way of seeing life, but that's reality, you know. That's reality, that no matter how hard we try, we end up suffering. That's remind me, once they interviewed Woody Allen, you know, the filmmaker, and they asked him, we hear that you are very, very pessimistic. Is that true? He said, yes, it is true. Why? You are rich, you are famous, you know, you have money, everything. Why are you pessimistic? He said, well, to tell you the truth, since we are born, we have a death sentence in our head. And nothing you can do to take it off from. So it's not good enough to be pessimistic. It's not good reason enough to be pessimistic. They say, well, okay, if you see it that way. Actually, he made a movie where devotees of Krishna, you know, appear there chanting, and he come to ask them questions about life, and they gave him a set of book, and they told him, read this book, you will get the answers. I hope he read the book. I hope so. Anyway, we are inviting everyone to read these books and to chant Hare Krishna, to experience some real spiritual happiness. You know? Once I was giving a lecture in the university in San Antonio, in Texas, and one student asked me this question, a challenging question actually. He said, can you honestly tell me that you're happy? No? You're really happy. And I told him, my answer was, well, look, I know where real happiness is, and I'm walking toward it. And that walking makes me happy. He said, oh, that's an honest answer. I agree, I like it. So that's very important thing to know. Where is real happiness? Suppose a man get lost in the desert. He's looking for water. And if somebody gives him a drop of water, is that going to satisfy him? No. You need much more quantity of water to quench your thirst in the middle of the desert. A drop doesn't do nothing. May increase your thirst. In the same way, you know, in this material world of birth and death and suffering, if we get a little happiness by pleasures of the body or the mind, you know, that is not going to satisfy our real self. We are souls. We are eternal spirit souls. We are searching for real eternal happiness. But you can't find this in this world, material world. There is no such happiness. We have to search somewhere else. So if the man wants to find water, he should not look for it in the desert. He should go to the forest where the waterfalls are, the rivers are, you know. There he can satisfy his thirst. In the same way, you know, it is an actual experience, you know, many sincere seekers of spiritual experience, spiritual life, is that this spiritual happiness, it is real. It's not something imaginary or in the sky, castle in the sky. No, it's real. And how can one experience it? By getting in touch with it. It's like if you in a very hot day, you approach a waterfall and there is a breeze, nice breeze blowing, and some drops of the waterfalls refresh you, fall on your face. You feel refreshed, isn't it? The same way, if you get in touch with the spiritual energy, the spiritual atmosphere, then you get touched by it. It's something like magical, practically speaking. I mean, every sincere seeker of a spiritual life must have experienced sometime, even at the beginning, this change, because it's a change of heart. It's not something external we're looking for. We're looking something to change our frame of mind, The frame of mind is materialistic, I want to enjoy everything, to possess everything, But the spiritual frame of mind is different. You see how the energy of God working, and you admire it, but you don't want to exploit it. You don't want to lord over it. You just try to see God in everything, and by chanting His name, you feel satisfaction. You feel spiritual satisfaction. And how does this work? It's like if a hungry man is offered a nice prasad plate, with every morsel he takes, what happens? His hunger diminishes, and his satisfaction increases, isn't it? With every morsel. So the spiritual practice is like that. When we practice sincerely the chanting, and reading the books and knowing the philosophy and trying to live by it, we experience that our hunger for material things diminish, and our spiritual satisfaction increases. So that's a proof that you are in the right path. That you found actually something real, something bona fide. So that's the secret. Of course, there are so much more. We can talk about the spiritual experiences and in one book, Chaitanya Charitamrita said that this ecstasy of spiritual life is so sweet as a sugar cane juice, but it is so hot that burns your tongue. But since it's so sweet, you can't stop drinking it, because it is the nectar of immortality. And we are invited to taste this nectar of immortality. Because we are a spiritual being, we are eternal. We are full of knowledge and bliss, and we have forgotten our true nature. So in this human form of life, we have the opportunity to awaken our real self, to the eternal reality of our loving connection with God, with Krishna. So I would like to hear from you if you have any comment or questions, so we can have a little conversation. If you want to, it would be nice. Okay.
Hi.
Yes.
Thank you so much. This is my first time here.
You're welcome. What's your name?
My name is Topanga. And this was very beautiful. What is something that you would say for somebody's first time who is unaware of what Hare Krishna is about?
I would say just be open-minded and open-hearted, to know, to learn, to approach the spirituality in a humble mood of learning, not challenging, but to want to learn, to want to imbibe something nice, something good that can help you in your life, See? So that's the way to approach it. And of course, I will advise you to get some books. We have some books you can read also. It's very important to. And in a short talk you can get something, but if you get the book, you will get more. Huh? So that's my humble advice. And keep coming. Keep coming, and every time you will come, you will learn something new, something interesting.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Here?
Are there any characteristics for a monk?
The characteristic of a monk. Yes. The first characteristic of a monk is that he practices celibacy. He makes a vow not to have sex life. That's a monk. No? Otherwise, he can't be a monk and have a girlfriend. Then he's not a monk. So that's the first thing. Second thing is a simple life. Simple life, high thinking. Try to have the bare minimum on life, not accumulate more things more than needed. And monk lives in the temple, generally speaking. And they have the company of other monks, so encourage each other to wake up early in the morning and come to the program and chant and listen to the practice, invite people to come. It's a missionary work to encourage other people to want to know about Krishna. Krishna is God, and God is Krishna. So, all religions of the world are looking for God, isn't it? And this movement, Hare Krishna movement, is presenting, here is God, Krishna. Accept Him. If you have a better candidate, okay, we are open-minded people. Present. God is not Indian or Christian or Jew or Muslim. God is one. He's the origin of all the universe. It's like the sun. The sun rises from the east. But the sun is not Eastern or Western. It's not Indian sun or Japanese or Mexican or American sun. Sun is for everyone. Isn't it? The same way, Krishna is for everyone. All religions speak about God, but how much they know about God? How He looks like. I remember when I was a teenager, once I asked a Christian priest how God looks like, because the Bible says we are made in the image of God, so He must have a form. He said, well, nobody have seen God. It's a mystery. Say how He knows. Did He ask the millions of people on the planet? Maybe one person may know. So, and my guru, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, spiritual master, he brought this information. And based on the holy scriptures of India, the Vedas, it's like, this is historical, it's not mythological like some people think, No, it's not mythological, it's real. And Krishna came to this world 5,000 years ago. And he spoke the Bhagavad Gita, and he did the amazing miracles. So you want to know about the life and teaching of Krishna? We have the books that speak about it. So it's a great information, to say. So a monk lives for that purpose, to learn more about God and to try to teach other people about God. That's his main concern. And the monks in the Hare Krishna movement, they're social people. They deal with people every day. They go out and try to give the books to the people and to read them and to invite them to come to the temple. So it's not like the traditional monk who go into the monastery and don't speak with anyone, and they make the vow of silence, and once I was giving a lecture in Mexico, and one man challenged me, isn't it better just to keep silent? And I told him, real silence means not to speak nonsense. Real silence means to speak only essential things. And the most essential thing is to speak about the soul and God. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank
Hare
you
Krishna.
for a wonderful kirtan in class. I've always wondered, since there's so much malice, malevolence and evil in the world, and there's a source to everything, would you say that Krishna is all benevolent, or does he have a malevolent or indifferent aspect to him?
Krishna is all good. He's the absolute good, the absolute true. Nothing bad can be in him. Everything in him is kindness, loving, merciful, compassionate, humble even. And he has all the wonderful qualities. He has full beauty, riches, and wisdom, and renunciation, fame, power, everything in fullness. That means he is God. Unless he is very, very attractive, how he can be God? I mean, sometimes you see paintings of God as an old man. No? In the Sistine Chapel, Michelangelo, he painted God as an old man, isn't it? With the wrinkles on his face and white hair, white beard. And I thought, why he painted God like that? No? And I thought maybe because he thought that since God created the universe, and that was so long ago, for the time being he must be old. But if God is a spirit, the spirit doesn't get old. I mean to say, Krishna was on earth for 125 years. He never get old. He spoke Bhagavad Gita, he was almost 100 years old, and he looked like a 20 years old boy. No? I mean, there were painters and artists who made painting and sculptures of him at that time. There are temples even from that time, 5,000, 3,000 years old, even now. So it is a very, very old tradition where information about the personal form and activities and qualities of God are revealed, are possible to know. No? But because people have a prejudice, religious and cultural prejudice, they think, no, this is something Indian or some Hindu god or something, because of prejudice. But that's why I said one should be open-minded and open-hearted, Maybe God will reveal something to me, I'm looking for. So yes. The question you asked me remind me of something. I was giving a lecture at a university in El Salvador, Central America, and the theological department. And one student asked me something like that, some challenging question that if God is all good, why there is so much evil in the world? If God created the world and there is evil in the world, how can God be all good? Why God allows so much suffering in the world? That was his question. And my answer was with a question. I asked him, do you believe that darkness exists? He said, yes, of course. I said, no, darkness doesn't exist. Darkness is only the absence of light. If we turn the light off right now in this room, and then we turn it on back again, will you see the darkness fighting with the light to stay in the room? Half the room light, half darkness fighting each other? No, you don't see that. That's only in a fictional movie, a science fiction movie, and things like that. But in reality, darkness doesn't exist because it's only the absence of light. See? So only because we gave our back to God, we are creating evil in the world, not God. By forgetting God, by going against His desire, He wants everyone to be happy. But we don't want to follow His advice how to be happy. We want to make our own ideas of how to be happy. By doing harmful things, killing animals, drinking, taking drugs, and promiscuity, and so many things. We think these things will make me happy, but no. That will get you maybe some material pleasure of the body, but you are not the body, you are the soul. So you can't be happy with these things. So God is all good, undoubtedly. We are the bad. We are creating so many problems in the world. I mean, to ourselves and to others too. So, I hope that answered your question. And we have to remember also there is the law of karma, We are suffering or enjoying according to our own activities, what we did in the past, good or bad. We are getting back, the result of our own actions. So God is not responsible for anybody's suffering if we are creating ourselves that with our own activities. Yes?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Based on what you just said about the lightness and the darkness, do you think that anger is darkness and love is light, and anger is just no love there?
Yeah, anger, there is no love in anger. Anger comes from ignorance, and it's very harmful. When somebody gets angry, can harm himself or harm others, and then regret it, and it's too late. You may go to jail after harming somebody, being angry, So, and love means you want the good for everyone. You don't want to harm anyone, A devotee of Krishna doesn't want to harm even an ant, If he sees an ant, he doesn't want to step on it. He said, no. Why should I harm anybody? So that's why we don't eat meat, because we love the animals. We don't want to help killing them, make them suffer. So if we learn how to love God, then we can love everyone, because everyone is part of God. Not only humans, animals too.
Thank you.
Yes, there in the back, please.
Hello. My question is, if Krishna would have put things like marijuana and mushrooms and all these different plant-based things that would get you high, why would he not want you to use them?
Well, you can use it if you want. If it's up to you, you have a free will, of course. No, Krishna is not forcing anyone to do anything. He's just telling us that you don't need it. You don't need it. Because the spiritual happiness is already inside you. You don't need nothing from the outside to make you happy. Because all these things, plants or chemicals, whatever, drugs, they are material. How something material can give you spiritual well-being or lightening. It's an illusion. It's not real. It's a mental concoction. And I'm telling you because I tried drugs before coming to Krishna, so I know what I'm talking about, you know. Although I've been practicing for more than 45 years. But it's reality. We see it as something of prohibition, not this, not that. No. It's not an imposition on the mind. It has to come from you. When you are convinced, then you know, I don't need this. If you are not convinced, you will keep doing it until you realize that it's not making you happy. It's just making you tripping, that's all. Yeah. Some other lady in the back.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Regarding the karma, what you
Yes.
said, could you please little bit explain more? Is a karma is a individual responsibility, or it's a generation to generation, it pass it on to the others, means the next generation? How
No,
is that?
Karma is individual.
It is an individual.
Yeah.
Whatever I do, I will take it with me, or whatever,
Yes.
good
whatever
or
you-
bad, everything it comes to me, or what is the reality on that one?
Yes, the karma works in this way. Every action has a reaction. No? The law of Newton. What goes around
third
comes
law.
around. You know, that's the way it works. So there are things that can give you bad karma. No? And those kind of things, you know what they are, you know. Harming others, either human or animal, that bring you bad karma. Harming your body by taking alcohol, drug, that's also bad karma because you suffer, your health suffer, you know, your mind suffer too. And all these things, you know, everything that goes against the natural way of living, you know, in harmony with nature and with God, create bad karma. But we are not looking for good karma either. We are looking for transcendence. Go beyond good and bad karma. Because good karma means you will enjoy better this life. You will have much more money, beauty, education, etc. You know? But that doesn't assure you that you will be happy. Many people are very rich and famous and beautiful, still they feel miserable. Because that's the way it is, you know. So we are looking for a spiritual life, beyond good or bad karma.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yes?
What does the chant mean?
The chanting.
Yes, like what does it physically mean? Like Hare Krishna,
Oh,
Hare
yeah.
Hare.
Thank
Hare
you
Rama.
for asking. Very good. How many of you are coming for first time? I would like to know. Oh, great. All right. So, Hare means the spiritual energy of God. Hare. And Krishna means the all-attractive one. God is all-attractive because He's not only very, very beautiful, but also famous and powerful and wise and renounced. All the wonderful qualities. So He's all-attractive. That means, and Rama means the fountainhead of all spiritual bliss or happiness. You know? So when we chant Hare Krishna, we are invoking God and His energy. We are saying, O energy of God, Hare, O Krishna, please accept me again. Engage me in your service. I have forgotten you for many lives, And now that I'm coming in touch with you, please don't reject me. Please be kind, merciful, and give me shelter. So chanting Hare Krishna is seeking spiritual shelter. It's a spiritual sound vibration that cleans the mind, cleans the heart from anger, greed, envy, hatred, lust, fear, all these bad things. This mantra, man means the mind, and tra means sound that liberate the mind from all these bad things. So that's is a way of purification. By chanting we get, and we gradually develop our love for God through this chanting. Because God is absolute, He's not different from His name. If I'm thirsty now, I start repeating water, 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 I get more thirsty. Because water and the word water and the liquid water are two different things. But in the spiritual life, the sound and the object are the same absolute thing. So when we chant Hare Krishna, we get in touch with Krishna. It's like if you want to hear a radio, you have to try, even if it is far away, thousands of kilometers away, you can hear it if you know how to, dial it correctly. So in the same way, when we chant Hare Krishna with the proper frame of mind and with absorption, connection, then you get in touch with the spiritual energy and your life changes for good, for better. It's real. It's not a fantasy. You have to try to see it for yourself. It works. At least for many of us, it worked. And that's why we are happy to share it with others, because we want everyone to experience this wonderful chanting. Try it and see for yourself what happens. So we repeat it that way: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Doesn't hurt, and it's free. You don't have to pay for it. Just your faith. No? All right, my friend, everybody got his questions answered, I hope. All right, very good. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. I'm just arriving today from Mexico, so I'm very happy to meet all of you.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna,
Maharaj.
Haribol.